Yeah, it's like people don't know who they are. They they imagine that they're the little sack of skin that other people can see, or that they're reducible to the confines of the body. It's almost as if people, they pretend they don't have senses, and they pretend they're not all the food they've eaten. They pretend that they're not the product of billions of years of evolution. They pretend that they're not subject to all the kinds of physical forces that have enabled their body to take the shape that it has, atmospheric conditions, gravitational forces, magnetic fields. They they think that they can bracket off all the social, historical, cultural factors, things like the alphabet, the mirror, money, clocks, telegraph, TV, radio. They I think they imagine there is a deep down self, some sort of, again, it comes from the ground up. It's as if the organism is taken to be the the first point of contact, and then from there they're going to kind of derive consciousness from out of all the emergent interactions from within the body, rather than from all the interactions that come from the body's interaction with the larger world. And it's the need to study people's particular relationships to those phenomena which are what they are, given the presence of the human. So instead of asking these kinds of questions, like if a tree falls in a forest and there's no one there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. So I think some people, they'll use that question to try to ask about, the objective occurrence of reality independent of people, and then the kinds of reality that are what they are only given the presence of people. And which you can sort of get at a difference if you say, what's the difference between if a tree falls in a forest and there's no one there to hear it, doesn't make a sound, and you say, if a tree falls in a forest and there's no one there to hear it, what exactly is the sound that it makes? See, you can imagine different organisms would have heard different sounds. So, I mean, there's a sense in which we can try to reinscribe it, but I thought a different way to maybe come at it would be to get at this issue of sunrises and of sunsets. Of, could it be that if one imagines that one is just a little sack of skin and you're a little body, and your goal is to somehow gratify and satisfy that body, you miss how your relationship to the larger world is actually, it's partly you, and it's partly, and by that, when I say it's partly you, I mean you're the necessary condition for it. It couldn't be what it is without you. And they're, immense beauties. And so again, the example would be the sunrise and the sunset. You are the sunrise, you are the sunset, literally. It's now, not that people subjectively make up the idea of sunrises and sunsets. It's that the planet as a whole, I mean the Earth, it's moving in relationship to the sun, and globally speaking, at the absolute global scale, the sun is, or the Earth is simultaneously sunsetting and sunrising all the way across. I mean, just all day long. It's basically sunrising and sunsetting. But any of us, located wherever it is we are, we experience a particular sunrise and a particular sunset. And it's, how do you register to a person that their greatest treasures, their greatest riches, beauties that are dependent upon them and are partly are them, and yet they're not their personal possession. They're something that come from the relationship we have with things. Yeah, if there were no people, there would be no, or if there were no organisms, if there were no observer, there is no, I mean, I guess without any observer, there's not even a sun rising or a sun setting, right? There's no distances of any sort. There's no sizes of any sort. And some of it just doesn't even make any sense. Uh, to try to imagine what the world is like independent of people is a wonderful thing that human imagination does, right? To be able to try to bracket out how humans experience things. I mean, to be able to separate things like sounds from sound waves, or colors from light waves, was absolutely crucial. But to leave out colors then, or to leave out the particular sounds that are heard, or to imagine that there's just a world out there that has sunrises and sunsets whether people there or not, is to really miss who people really are. We are places and moments of all of this stuff eventing.